Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Lavache, Miguel Antonio Barragan. If you want to look at the photo up in that corner, that's me. That's me. That's Andrew. And that's Miguel over on the far side. There you go. This is a show about boxing, fighting, football. It's football season. So if you're not a football fan, I'm just going to prep you. There's going to be at least 10 or 15 minutes of me torturing Andrew about the Raiders. I mean, let's just be perfectly honest. And then, much like yesterday, Andrew, I can't even wrap my brain around the first quarter of the Charger game. San Francisco started their entire first-string offensive line and defensive line against guys that are on the verge of being cut. And I was trying to explain that. She goes, well, why was it a bad game? Like the Chargers won 46-6. I go, yeah, that was after the second quarter. I go, in the first quarter, let me explain what happened. It's like literally Pee-wee leagues playing pros. Did you see it this year? Did you watch preseason and all this, Andrew?
Well, yeah, I watched the Chargers-Niner game on Friday.
The first quarter was a joke. The first quarter was a joke. I mean, excluding the fluke run back.
But wait a minute. I thought you guys did. Lee, you have the lead the whole time. The Niners didn't look good at all. They had like 4 holding penalties. Purdy was missing guys wide open.
But that's you're talking about the second, third, and fourth quarter.
No, I mean, Purdy's their starter, bro. Purdy's the first guy.
I'm telling you, in the first quarter, I thought he looked good, excluding. Okay, so run it back.
I do hate the Niners. So,
well, no, I mean they made mistakes, right? Like their running back gave up the ball at the goal line after Purdy drove him all the way down.
And Lee, let me tell you,
the defense did a 4-and-out twice.
I think that's why they started running the ball, is because the quarterback was not looking hot. They don't want to go into the season with all these I mean, he missed a guy on the sidelines by like 15 feet. He misses a wide receiver wide open, and maybe by 5 feet. The wide receiver touched the ball, but he's wide open. And in the NFL, you're 1 week away from the start. You want to see your quarterback hit that guy in between the numbers. He's wide open. Instead, you got the guy diving, ribs totally exposed over the middle. That's the recipe for a disaster on a wide receiver's part. And then he missed the touch pass over in the end zone. I think Shanahan really pulled back, and that's when they started running the ball. We all know San Diego, all teams. At this point, the starters are not tackling. That they're not doing that.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you look at the top 10 of who they're predicting for the Super Bowl, right? They're all very logical. I think the wild card in that pile, and by the way, plus 2,100, I think is their number. Chargers are number 6. And that guy that they got that they call Q. So if you've got 3 intense receivers, right? A strong running back and literally a guy who's going to the Hall of Fame with the Chargers. Would you not agree, Andrew? The Chargers have once again got a guy who's going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I like preseason because I get to watch Fouts and I get to watch all the old Chargers.
What sucked about the Raiders last night, and I did not get to see the game, they're not televising, at least on my
VIProw.net, Andrew. VIP.
Well, I'm not doing all that either, but I'm not finding the Raider preseason games, so I'm not watching them, but I do see the highlights. I see what they put on the internet. Did anyone see Tom Brady in all black talking to the team as they walked out of the tunnel for the Las Vegas Raiders?
So here's the question. Would you be a Tom Brady fan if he started for the Raiders?
No, listen, a Tom Brady fan, no, nobody's getting jerseys. No one, if they win and my kids are happy, everyone's happy, then yeah, it's a great time for us. But I'm not. There will be no Tom Brady posters being hung up or Garoppolo posters being hung up on our wall. It's just a real sad. It's not sad, but like for the Raiders,
would you really walk into Junior's room and go, take that down?
It would have never went up. There's a difference. Wow. For the Raider fans that like hate Niners, it kind of sucks that we have Tom Brady, who's from San Mateo, loyal to the Niner organization, used to wear a Niner shirt under his Patriots jersey, was the story when he first got drafted. He's talking to Jimmy G, who's been like the excuse for the Niners for the last 5 years on not winning the Super Bowl. He's talking to him coming out. That's what we're cheering coming out of the tunnel. It's like, it's just a weird time for the Raider organization, at least the real Raiders. I know you Raiders that you know will cheer on anything because it's the shield. I understand that a little, but this is just a weird time seeing us have to cheer for those two guys. Never would have thought that, Lee. 2001, I'm not going, yeah, in the future, bet you Tom Brady's in our tunnel as an owner.
So if you can't handle that until February, just bookmark this and show back up, because there is some level of joy I get about torturing Andrew about the Raiders. It is a joy that I cannot express. On the other hand, on the other side, there's Miguel Antonio Barragan. There was a UFC, right? Did you rewatch yet?
Just the main event, because like I basically spent like all day in the pool and stuff doing stuff. I'm currently in Corona, California, for a baptism. Well, I'm in California. I'm in California for the weekend. I'm in Corona, to be specific,
Corona's
for a
like
baptism.
96.
Yeah, it was still pretty warm. Exactly. So out here for a baptism that we're gonna get to later on this afternoon. So I didn't get a chance to catch everything, but I did catch the main events, or the ones that mattered, because at the end of the day, when we're tired as hell, we're like, damn, all right, time to pop on some fights. And we caught a USC game on TV yesterday. So yeah, so I did manage to catch the main events, including the main event of the UFC card, which came from Singapore. So it was like hella early, like 5 a.m. So by the time I woke up, the fights were already started. But yeah, I managed to catch the main event of the UFC card as well.
Well, there you go. As part of the 17-year anniversary, get to know your Fight Net Radio people a little bit better. And Andrew's probably thinking, what does this have to do with boxing? What happens every September in boxing, Andrew? I know this for a fact. We've been doing it for 17 years. I don't know what
happens, Lee. You
absolutely. Do you know the schedule? Absolutely dick diddly shit. I mean, literally September, late August, early September is literally the worst month for boxing. I don't know if it's because
Wait a minute. We just had a shakeup.
I know. I understand that. What just happened is different. But when you're talking news, have you seen the September schedule? Until the end of the month, the bright spot is Canelo.
Well, and that's what I was going to just bring up. Has anyone changed their feelings on the fight? That's a good one.
We don't even have stories on it yet. But because they're literally, people are jockeying for fall fights.
We never talked about Terrence Crawford trolling Spence, the biggest I've ever seen a fighter do after knocking out a fighter. He embarrassed Spence so bad on that fight night. What he did for his celebration parade, it was uncalled for, but legendary. We never talked about that.
There's nothing wrong with that. And if you're wondering why we didn't do a show last week, no, it's not a technical issue this time. It's Andrew's day life for a rarity. And so I let him. Well, this time when people asked all the questions, you could go, it's my fault, not Lee's fault. It's always Lee's fault. Jesus Christ. It's always Lee's fault.
But I have a legit, honest excuse where Lee's
no, I got fucked up, or I fell face down. Yeah, no, look, we all get that. I want to do something great for all of you on the podcast. This will probably not be on any of the videos. This is part of the 17-year anniversary, which I think is a huge deal for people who do the fucking things we do. Let's get to know our fight people a little bit better. So, Andrew, Are you ready?
Yes.
Spaghetti or lasagna?
Ooh, shit. Lasagna, but spaghetti is a very, very close second. That's a toss-up, but I love lasagna.
Miguel?
Man, spaghetti is substantially easier to make, and my lazy ass would probably lean in that direction. Although I would, in general, prefer lasagna. Yeah, I probably would lasagna too.
I was thinking about these questions earlier that I wanted to ask you guys, and I went, I would love an angel hair with bolognese and then some split sausage over a lasagna any day. Any day, I think. It's strong. It's really strong. All right, next question. Andrew, I already know your answer, but I'll say it anyway. What is your boxing go-to movie?
Yeah, Rocky.
Really?
Oh, shit. What were you going to say?
Well, no, I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with Rocky 1. All right. I'm not going to dispute it. My problem is I don't want to know this guy's life. Like, it's depressing. It's like watching The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. Like, I don't want to know that your life sucks when the stripper wants to bone you, dude. I don't really want to know that.
I think that's part of the connection he had with the audience, right? Is that it's the little guy making it, and even though he doesn't get the win, but he still makes it in life. That might be the connection of why Rocky, was so successful. I was just young. It's the music, it's the working out, it's the fight scenes. I mean, no, that's my go-to movie.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Migs, I'll expand for you. What fight movie is your go-to?
Well, I mean, it's going to be Rocky as well, but it's going to be Rocky 4. That one specifically, at the very beginning with like the Russian glove and the U.S. glove that like collide and then they fucking explode and it's a big old deal, right? And that whole beginning spiel, and Stallone gets home, or with his little kid with recording him on a video camera, and he's got his black eye from the sparring session that he had with Apollo, shit like that whole part in the very beginning, that's what does it for me, and of course the soundtrack and all that good shit, right? That's all tight, but for me it's specifically the fourth one.
And you're both
and
wrong.
You got to remember, Lee.
You're both wrong anyway. It's Raging Bull. It's Raging Bull.
I'm a little bit of an older soul because I have a brother who's 8 years older than me. So I'm piggybacking off a lot of what my brother did when, you know what I'm saying? So that's why Rocky probably is my go-to also.
Raging Bull. Raging Bull. Let's all say it. Martin Scorsese. Come on. It's Raging Bull. But you know what? That's not true. What's the one with the guy who breaks his arm and works during the docks? Help me out, Miguel. He breaks his arm during the Depression.
Cinderella Man.
Is Cinderella Man not a really good boxing movie that people just overlook all the time?
It's actually pretty solid. Like, I wasn't too crazy about it when I was like found out about it. As a matter of fact, one of the chicks that I was seeing at the time was like, "Let's go watch it." And I'm like, "No, I'm not too crazy." These kind of like, and they always try to make it dramatic as fuck. I'm like, all right, well, I finally gave in, and sure enough, it was a pretty solid movie. Like, I'm glad that I ended up watching it.
A lot of these movies that we're mentioning, though, Lee, didn't they go for awards? If not,
they're all Academy, excluding Rocky 4, which is just that is just a car crash of ego. But everything else we've talked about, Rocky.
Whenever you get to a part 4 of any movie, I think that's all you're dealing with.
Come on, he's running up a hill and he's lifting up like the whole and the Drago with the needle and the give me a break. There's so much in it. All right, and last one for this week, Andrew.
What?
Your favorite fight of all time?
Oh, Chavez Taylor, easy. Chavez, Meldrick Taylor.
Miguel, for you, I'll give you UFC or MMA or boxing.
Oh man! All right. Well, I mean, I got my separate categories. I don't know if I've actually really taken the time to like really look at all the boxing fights. I mean, there was a fuck ton of fights, man. Oh man, it's too tough to say. The MMA one is a smaller, lesser known fighter, or actually, well, not the fighter, but like for anybody who watches, it was like WEC 48 back in the day. It was Dominic Cruz against Joseph Benavidez. That was a while ago. It was years ago. That's one of my favorite fights of all time. But in the boxing, goddamn, you know what? I don't want to piggyback off of Andrew and say Travis Taylor, because it's like one of my earliest memories of like watching boxing with my pops, because we basically put bet on that fight that at some point, not that Travis would win necessarily, but that he would drop Taylor at some point, and my dad like got a nice stack of cash because he ended up dropping him in the 12th, right? Damn it, you know what? I'm gonna have to go a little modern, and this is just because I actually called it. Kelly Pavlik and Jermaine Taylor won. Dude, wow. I called that shit on the dot. I was like, he's gonna do it after the 6th round. Kelly's gonna fuck this fool up, and he ends up finishes him in the 7th. Oh man! And then of course the dramatic, Kelly being dropped early in the fight, then coming back and finishing Jermaine. So I can watch that one on repeat hella fucking time. So I might have to go with that one because it's more of a modern one.
Andrew, what's my favorite fight?
Oh, I think I know this one.
Oh yeah, Hagler and Hearns.
That is the first fight, but what's the one that I paid tribute to at the sports arena?
Corrales and Castillo.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on. That is the smartest fight I've ever seen a person fight ever.
I gotta say, for me, the reason why Chavez Taylor also is I think that's the peak of my emotions for the sport. That's what locked me in. It was they hated Chavez on that night. HBO came back and apologized. I believe if you get the Ring magazines, it's either in the Ring magazine or they might have did it on air the next fight. But they apologized for being so biased in that Taylor Chavez one match. If you guys remember, they're quiet as hell when Chavez lands that right hand and he hurts him. Yeah, he gets quiet because they didn't fucking want him to win. They were it's gonna be a sad Mexico tonight. Oh yeah, he can't out punch the guy. All this bullshit. Taylor's fucking face is swollen. He's falling over from being exhausted. They're not saying any of it. It was just and I don't think I ever got back to that point of excitement. Now I've had great, I mean, come on, Barrera, Morales, Pacquiao. There's been great fights for this sport.
I was there when Khan lost to Barrera. I was there at the MGM.
Who?
Barrera versus Khan. No, not Khan. Who's the guy who came in on the carpet?
Well, no, Khan beat Barrera.
No, he didn't.
Who's the guy?
Wait. Not Amir.
Oh, Nassim
Hamed. I was there.
I
was there, right when Nassim was at the top of his game, and I remember being there with my business partner at the time, and I'm like, I don't know, this dude's been flying this for a while. Like this flag's been flying for a while. This could go completely sideways, and it was a night. I like being there. Like I've been at Lacey fights. I've been at the late 90s and early aughts. I've just enjoyed those fights where people you came off the throne. And by the way, happened again last night. We'll talk about it shortly with Nico Ali. Wait, let's all take a chuckle there.
Everybody was laughing. Internet just blew up. That was so sad.
As it should, right? Like they were manufacturing a guy for that position. But when you're talking about guys like Hamed, like the fights with Lacey, the fights with Mosley, I was there when Frankie Randall was at the end of Chavez's run and stole that fight. And I'm like looking at my dad going, we got to get out of here. We have to go. They're going to tear seats out of this place.
And Lee, seriously, De La Hoya, if you really go back and watch, if you really go back and replay the De La Hoya fights, they are screaming things like Hagler, Hearns, this is our Duran Leonard, the Mosley ending, the what other fights, you guys? They're in the 12th round. Ike Corte.
Oh, Ike Corte, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mosley in both fights, they go toe to toe, man. They're trading right hands. Everyone's on their feet. It's fucking. They're just throwing for the fences. Both guys. We don't get fight. We don't get 12 rounds like that anymore. The 12th round never. Now it's all running. Oh look, all he has to do is stay on his feet, and he's gonna win.
Season.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's strap season, Andrew. It's strap season.
It's just no Oscar. He even brought it back in the 90s, big time, big time. The going at Chavez, he was what 21 years old, fights Chavez at who's 99-1, 98-1, some bullshit is his record. Fucking ices him in 4 rounds, bloody TKO'd. Like, come on, no, we don't get superstars like that right now.
So there you go.
I love Shakur to death, but his highlight is he's the most defensive fighter in the game. I hate that.
Well, I could make the same statement about Floyd, but hey, that's part of the 17. Yeah. Well, so there you guys go. A little more insight to the three of us for the 17-year anniversary. We hope you enjoyed it. And that's really for the audio people. But now let's enjoy the show. This is a show about boxing, and we are going to talk about boxing, and we are going to start right off in the deep end of the swimming pool, Andrew, mainly because it's easier for me, and I can probably clip this off and get this up on YouTube and Facebook, but we'll see. So let's jump right in. The unified, may I argue, arguably the best. Let me turn that off. It'll speed it up. There we go. And arguably one of the best fighters today. I don't know what this guy has to do to prove himself to everyone. I'll start with you, Miguel. What the? All right. Undisputed cruiserweight champion. We're now at title defense 4 or 5 at this point. At this point for WBO, IBF, WBA, IBA, and probably some other horseshit intercontinental title, right? But definitely unified, right? Like the only thing he needs at this point is the WBC.
Correct.
And I listened to those Yahoo. This is the first time I've heard the, how do I say it? The ESPN crew, but they're technically the top ranked crew, right? Oh, he's the number 3 heavyweight. They actually said last night that Oleksandr is the number 3 heavyweight. How is that even a thing?
Right behind Fury, I get it, but behind who the fuck else? Like AJ, nothing else. Like who the fuck else? So
I'll argue the lineal champion, which is still right, Tyson Fury, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I heard him say it, and I almost threw something at the TV. He's the number 3 heavyweight in the world. What? I'm sorry. Were you talking about Dubois?
Maybe,
because Dubois
maybe
didn't even crack the top 10.
You would have to check what the rankings were for Usyk's title. Maybe it was Dubois was ranked number 3 in his title.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
Well, I find it hard that they have another heavyweight above Oleksandr Usyk, and I don't believe that. That had to have been something they just, whoever said it just fucked up right there. He's not number.
Well, Testatory fucks up all the time.
And if you get past Deontay Wilder, there's no one else. It would only be Deontay that they could even have an argument that he's above Usyk, and it's a weak ass argument, but that's the only fighter. Look.
And by the way,
I think the biggest
to double
story
that up, the same crew did the evening.
Should Usyk be the champion this morning? Usyk, dude, he looked like he got dropped, bro. I don't have a horse in this race. Lee. I don't give a damn who wins. I really don't.
All right. Let's argue the drop, right? Let's argue the drop, right? So it's hit on the belt line. It's not low. You don't think he's getting up?
I'm gonna tell dude, he took him 4 minutes. The count was
No,
over.
because they gave him 4 minutes.
Nah, bullshit. Hey, listen, you guys. I'm gonna tell you something. That man never once grabbed his nuts. If you watch the punch and watch Usyk, it is all about breathing. He's not holding his nuts and breathing. He's not trying to adjust his cup because his cup just got shifted up and his nuts are in a weird position now. No. All about breathe. Hey, ooh, he's looking at his corner. I don't know, man. I don't know. Shit. Woo! Hey, grab your nuts. Dude, if you're calling it a low blow, you got to at least adjust something down there. He never does. For 4 fucking minutes, Usyk is only thinking about breathing. He was out. He's not getting up. That, ladies and gentlemen, was not a Ryan Garcia drop. That is, you got hit and your fucking wind left you, and he went down.
Okay, so I don't like quoting Jim Rome on this show, but I'm going to. What did the referee say?
Yeah, the ref said it was low. I mean,
Scoreboard.
at the end of the day.
It's scoreboard, right?
Oh, most definitely.
We argue it all the time. Well, look,
But-
the only
but
reason the Rams won a Super Bowl is because they literally had one of the most epic pass interferences of all time. Correct, Andrew?
Yeah, that doesn't mean you win in the public eye, though.
It doesn't matter.
Everyone who's no, he's not. He's not worthy of Tyson Fury money. So when you go back to the negotiation table, you can come off of whatever fucking demands you had, because Tyson's gonna replay that in the press conference. No, sorry. Daniel Dubois goes 9 rounds with your undisputed king.
But he went that far with Chisora. He went. Look,
Daniel Dubois.
Wait, let's be realistic.
Kidding me? And then
Usyk is what at his best day. Wait, hold on, Andrew. Let's really talk about this guy. Like, he's literally like a raging bull, right? Like this. He is a very tiny heavyweight. A very tiny heavyweight. He's fighting guys that are 250, 260, 270. It took him forever to chop down Chisora, which I thought was brutally too long when he took that fight. I thought Anthony Joshua was going to be stupid and try to box him, which ultimately, if you try to box this guy, it's like fighting Lomachenko, for God's sakes. He just turns it on to a level. But you're also talking about a guy out of the Ukraine, and I'm not making excuses for the fight because, spoiler alert, the punchline, if you're watching the video on our website, he's going to win in the 9th, and he puts him down with a pretty substantial punch.
No, he doesn't. The kid quit.
Oh,
that kid quit.
You're a hater. You're a hater. You're a hater.
Hey, Miguel. Yeah. He's the one that went down to one knee against Joe Joyce.
Are you a Tommy Morrison denier too?
No,
like Tommy Morrison never got the WBO
against Joe Joyce because of a bad eye. And then you know what? It was a bad eye. But you ever heard that thing? Once you do it once, it's easier to do it again. Last night there was nothing wrong with him. He had no cuts. His eyes weren't closed. Takes a jab and is just like, nah, fuck that, done. Goes down to a knee again. That's where we're just going to go to a knee. That's what we're doing. I don't know, man. It didn't. Go ahead, Miguel. You talk me out of this, and then I'll say what I have to. But you talk me down right now.
I think this is Andrew. I think he's a top 10 pound for pound. You've got to at least recognize it. You have to. You have to at this point. He's going to get Fury.
I know what Miguel felt before I move on. I'm not going to yell.
Okay. All right.
Well,
all right. Have some coffee. We're all warmed up.
So, I mean, here's the thing. You can't see Usyk's belly button. And that means that it's being covered by the fucking, by the belt, by the cup. So if it lands on the belt line, I'd say it's legal. It's covering the belly button. If the belt line happens to be below the belly button, then I would say, okay, fuck it. That's too low. Boom. But as soon as he gets cracked, he immediately turns to the ref, right? And he reacts as though he gets cracked in the nuts. So It's hard to say. Obviously, we weren't there. We weren't the ones that were taking the punch. But the way he reacted, because here's the thing: you get cracked there, you know, in like your pelvis area kind of thing. Like it's pretty damn close to your nuts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he is not adjusting himself there, but the way you react from getting cracked in the balls, from the compared to how you react when you get the wind knocked out of you, is a little bit different. And it did look as though Usyk reacted as if he got cracked in the balls. So I don't know which one was which, but that's the way it was. When he went down, immediately the referee, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the referee was on that side when the punch landed. So either he wasn't paying attention, or I don't know what the fuck his issue was, but I would have to assume that he has a better angle than we did. And there was a couple of times where they actually re-aired like that same angle, and it was like Usyk's back. And they're like, all right, finally they showed one up in front. And it's hard to tell, but it landed on the belt line. The fact that Usyk's belly button was covered by his cup would make me believe that it was a legal shot. But he goes down, he reacts as though, he got cracked in the nuts. The referee immediately goes on that, immediately believes him. And it's like, all right, cool. Time to give him the 5 minutes, right? Sends Dubois back to his corner. They're cooling down or whatever. He gets back up. And I think Dubois actually knew that the punch was good and actually started to attack a little bit. But then he just eased up. For whatever the fuck reason, he eased up. And then it didn't look like he realized that Usyk recovered. And he's like, all right, fine. I'm not gonna push my luck here. But beyond that, yeah, Dubois was looking for the door. He was totally looking for the fucking door. Like, dude, yes, the shots were bad. Yeah, the jab that cracked him, did kind of like, spin his head a little bit. But it's like, dude, he got hit a lot harder by fucking Joe Joyce. Like those punches, and then of course the damage done to his eye in that fight. It's like, dude, come on. And if I'm not mistaken, Dubois actually has been dropped in another fight too that he ultimately came back and he won. So it's like at this point he's kind of getting dropped kind of regularly, So once he got dropped
Dubois
his last
was
time,
a crap opponent, right? Like this is
it was. Yeah, pretty much. And then this was kind of like while the fight with Fury didn't happen, so like, all right, well, it's time to go to another opponent. So it wasn't like Dubois was necessarily their first choice, which it wasn't. But I mean, at this point, I don't know. It's when we see performances like this, and mind you, bottom line is Usyk won, right? He won, yeah, well, against not the best opponent, but he's beating all these other B and C level heavyweights. The only ones left obviously are the guys at the top, like Fury, like Wilder. He already beat AJ twice, so really those are the only two that we're interested in watching. If he doesn't fight any one of those, I can see why Fury is like, all right, well, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna make a fuck ton more money when this circus pay-per-view with Ngannou than I am gonna be with than I am gonna be with Usyk. And with performances like last night, yeah, you can understand why. But I mean, it sucks for us boxing fans because we're the ones that are asked out of the fight that we want to see with Usyk and fucking Fury. But I don't know. Going back to that punch, it seemed like it was. I mean, again, Usyk reacted as though he got cracked in the sack. So understandably, it's like, okay, well, maybe he's just a really good actor. I don't know, but because you do react differently when you get punched in the body as opposed to when you get cracked in the balls. But it looked legal. It looked on the belt line. I thought it was legal.
A really fast punch, and that's why I've been kind of.
It's nowhere near his nutsack. Like, why are we calling something that wasn't? That punch is nowhere near his balls. It's nowhere near his ball. Wait, have any of us been hit in the stomach? Yes. When you get hit above your nuts, do you go, oh, my nuts?
Yeah, what? Actually, yes. If you can catch me right at the belt line on the pelvis.
No, I'm not going to call something that wasn't. That fucking punch is on his belly button. That's not a low blow. I'm sorry, I'm not calling something that wasn't. He punched him. And you have that cheap ass angle, and I love how the highlights don't show the angle from the other side, because if you
gotta love that top rank.
If you use what's the JFK bullet? What's that?
The magic bullet. So you're saying it's the magic punch?
Yeah. Hey, let's slow play it. I want fucking frame by frame of where that punch lands. It's gonna be on his belly button. And the dude,
right there. There it is. It hits him right on the logo, basically. It's like on the logo of his shorts.
I like this one. I like this.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. We got an angle. I like this angle.
Yeah.
There it comes.
Down and to the left. Down
into the back into the. It's back into the left. If you want to know the actual. I make a joke about the Zapruder film all the time. Everything in my life is the Zapruder film. All right,
Hey,
so
Lee, that's the title of this show.
it's rough.
Yes.
It's rough. It's rough.
That is the title of this show. Down and or back and to the left. Yeah,
Back
it was on the logo. It was on the logo. I thought. I mean, it's not like his his fucking belt line is thick. You know, some guys'
right,
short trunks are
I
really
don't have
wide.
I don't have the
See, here it is.
come in
Boom.
line, right? Oh,
If you could freeze that shot.
it's pretty strong. It's right
you can
on
put
the
it in
button.
slow motion. You can put it in slow motion, like super slow, and then it'll actually. Oh, what the fuck?
Oh, they just jumped to it.
Yeah, I know.
It's in Poland. Look,
But in
short of literally Usyk having an aneurysm, they're gonna give him the fight. Period. Right? Like he's making all the money.
Yeah.
What Usyk needs to be nervous about is Top Rank turning on him. Look, Top Rank is loyal to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is where the big money is. The market is already behind him. The Usyk with having this flaw. This is a flaw. Listen, I don't know if the universe was talking last night or if the whole thing's a fix and this is all staged and we're just watching a WWE match. But if you remember what Timothy Bradley was saying in the beginning of this fight, Dubois needs to go after the body. He's weak to the body. He can't take it to the body. This guy was knocked out in the amateurs to the body. And then this happens in round 5. And it's like, wow, good call, Timothy. Then you fast forwarded a few hours to the Jared Anderson fight.
And that's a different discussion. And then we can talk about F.A. Ajabag.
But what do they show in that stat? 41 body shots in 4 rounds? Like, how weak are you to the body, bro? Because they said you got knocked out in the amateurs. They said the guy should stay to the body. The guy clearly drops you with the body shot. Listen, Top Rank, you don't fucking play their game. No Timothy Bradley, Manny Pacquiao your ass. I'm telling you right now, Jared Anderson will get that fight. If you
listen, I control everything.
I know he does.
I am the god of all things. I was in 2 places at once.
Is this match?
I was in. Listen. You shall not pass. That's a great joke.
Don't sleep on Dubois. No.
That is literally my generation a great joke. My daughter would have appreciated. You shall not pass. Bob has magically taken over the heavyweight division. What a savage. He's doing the broadcast, right? And by the way, look at the time signatures. What's the name next to ESPN Plus? I don't know of any deal that they have with, what is it, K2 and whatever the hell it is. Yeah. What magical powers does Bob have where he went from, all right, let's take his history. He's Muhammad Ali, right? Then Don King takes over, right? And then for a short period, Eddie Hearn takes over. And somehow magically, Bob has got Usyk. Think about this. Bob has got Usyk, Anderson, and Tyson Fury. Yeah. What a savage. What a savage. I realize it's not Bob. It's Bob's team at this point because all Bob wants.
Hey, wait a minute. I don't know, Lee, because that man is still showing up for his fighters.
He showed up in Tulsa last night, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Look, I've got family out there. I won't go. Okay? I literally won't go. And Bob went out there for Jared Anderson, and we'll talk about it later, but Jared Anderson completely redeemed himself from that complete shit show from a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a shit show. I thought Jared Anderson, and we talked about this the night of the fight. I'm like, he doesn't like to get hit. This is going sideways. This looks awful. And he said all these crazy things. And so he came out here against a guy who was of a higher caliber and just literally dismantled him, right? Literally. But my issue is, I get that he's Big Baby. So I guess that would make his mother Big Mama. And they showed his dad, who was Big Daddy. and they all look like they were collectively a ton of human weight. And if you're wondering, do I hate on people that are overweight? I do. It's like self-hating.
You should. It only benefits them, Lee.
Look.
I'm just kidding. I'm
going to quote Bill Burr. If nobody's familiar with the comedian Bill Burr, I am going to quote his joke. You walked your way into that weight, walk your ass on out of that weight. Okay. At this point, Dubois is done, right? Like at the first knockdown,
yes,
he's done.
Yeah.
Do we all agree?
Yeah, and you know what, Dubois, like, here's the thing. Dubois was getting hit with that fucking jab to death. Dude, bring your damn left hand higher, for fuck's sake. How is a shorter man, I don't know how much, what the height difference was,
they
but
had
like,
the same
the
reach,
naturally smaller,
according to Bradley and Testatory. They had the same reach.
But still, it's like, dude, stay out of his range or bring that damn left hand up. There's no fucking way this dude is going to be able to catch you with that damn jab so often. Like, clearly, either your left hand is hella low and it's low while you're within his reach. It's like, stay out of the way. Once you start realizing that he's able to catch you with that fucking jab, clearly it's because you're doing something wrong, bro. Like, where the hell is this corner saying, dude, can you please bring that left hand a little higher, please? He seemed to be catching with that goddamn jab a little bit earlier. I mean, a little bit often. And then ultimately, at the end of the fight, what's the one fucking punch that drops him and he stays down for the count? A damn fucking jab. Look at him. Look at him. Jesus Christ.
He better
here's my point, Andrew. So your point is in round 8 or whatever it was, 7, 6, when he drops him on what could arguably be a great body shot, but we've had this discussion a million times on the show, right? A million times, right? Doesn't matter. That's what the ref called it. That's the way Bob wanted it. Okay?
Yeah, no, and I'm totally fine with that. You know, the ref also pissed me off when he brought the two fighters back together and he demanded Dubois to look at him in his eyes while he warned him. These guys are top athletes in one of the highest sports that
this is not the F.A. Ajabag fight at all.
And it's like when you're hot and the dealer comes over and goes, "Oh, let me change the dice. Oh, let me change the deck.
Let me change the deck."
It's all, they're trying to break your fucking zone, and I really thought the ref he fucked up right there. Anyone going into a top rank fight with and your guy's not the top rank favorite, better look into the referee on what's that ref's name, because not only does he call that thing a low blow right out the gate, fucking has no, just that's what he called it immediately. He then breaks Dubois' concentration 3 fucking times. Look at me. Look at, like, what do you mean, my fucking dad?
Well, okay, all right, first of all, Andrew.
And then gives Usyk more time to recover.
Wait, by the way, you're on an Indian reservation, right? So you're screwed.
No,
from the
I think they're in. No, they're
fucking Poland somewhere.
Yeah,
it was raining too. You can hear that shit.
If you had to, Poland looks about as sketchy as an Indian reservation, is my point, because we're going to talk about Tulsa in a minute. My question is this: if you really wanted a fair fight, where would you have your fight? This is a good one, by the way. Shout out to Sam Navajero. This is going to make your friends question everything. So my question would be, where would you actually get a fair fight where I know the promoters can't get in the ear, I know they can't control the judges? Like, if you were Miguel, and you're fighting for your first championship, where do you think you get your fairest fight?
Goddamn.
That's a good question.
I'm gonna say New York, New Jersey. The athletic commissions there that have the most experience with judging. That's my best bet.
I know where I'd go. If
you're saying it's my first championship, I'm doing that in my backyard.
And by the way, you're not with the wait, maybe I should qualify this. You're not with the promoter.
Yeah, I want that in San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco, Stockton.
You want California. You want the California Athletic Commission.
I want my backyard, Lee. I want my crowd, my judges. I want the ref to know me from the amateurs. I want all of the above. That's what I would do.
I agree. I completely agree with you. If somebody asked me, all right, Lee, You went 20-0. You got a shot at the IBA title, right? Where are you going to fight it? I'm going to fight it in Orange County, where I actually know one of the referees, right? And I know a couple of the judges. Like, I've got a shot. Like, I don't think they're going to screw me during the fight. We know we can control it in Vegas. We know we can control it in New York. Maybe not Florida. I've never seen a fight in Texas. I don't like what we've done a Canelo fight in Texas.
We have to go to the rankings and see where Jared Anderson is on the. What is he?
Do we want to jump to Jared already?
Oh yeah. Hey, no. I'm telling you right now, though, if Usyk don't play ball, they will move Jared Anderson into that title. Look, I'm not saying he's winning on points, you guys, but if Usyk is,
he won't be ranked this quickly. He won't be ranked overnight. They can't pull that off.
No.
I would like to know where he's at right now, though, because with the
number 7, WBA, they said last night. I made the mistake. Miguel, do you get frustrated with pops watching a fight?
Sure, that happens.
Okay, let me tell you what it's like to watch with moms. So moms is like, I like the color of the gloves. Okay, cool. Do they all do the thing with the pants with the dingle thingies? I'm like, okay, Jesus, you're fucking beating my ass down at this point. Like, you're just, I realize with Pops, it's going to be his boxing opinion over the situation. With moms, it's going to be, I really like the powder blue gloves. Will you talk about that tomorrow? Probably not. I got to be perfectly. Why wouldn't you talk about the powder blue gloves? I think his outfit was great. I'm like, outfits don't need dick. God damn. I have seen so many guys show up with so many outfits. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Never. The poor podcast people going, what the fuck? Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Hanich, Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan. Welcome to the 17th year anniversary. There are 2 exclusive videos. I'm assuming one of them will stay up, which is us talking about us. And the second one is a complete playback of the fight with Oleksandr Usyk, who is the unified heavyweight champion, where Andrew didn't have an aneurysm, so it was a pretty good outing. But if you sign up for the podcast, you can hear every single second of every single show. But if you want to go to @FightNet Radio on anything and get anything, there you go. Let's talk about news. Strangely, the news has not changed in 2 weeks. Fulton wants to get fucked up again by Inoue. I'm not exactly sure why, Miguel. I'm not exactly sure what Fulton thinks he's going to do in the rematch. Is there something that I missed in their first go round?
I mean, it wasn't like a complete, mopping at the beginning, obviously, right? Because Fulton was in it, but you can tell, like, and what's his name? Max Kellerman says this pretty regularly. Class tells over time, so it took a little bit of time for what's his name? Anyway, to kind of like get his bearings, get that used to feeling the power or feeling the body of a 122 pounder. But then ultimately, of course, he shut him down. So I don't think there's really anything that that Fulton could do differently. Like, he pretty much fought the best way he could fight. I mean, unless he maybe wants some sort of rematch outside of Japan or something, but it wasn't like he got screwed over in some decision. He got stopped. So I don't know what exactly, what he plans to do differently. But I mean,
okay, wait, let's use Crawford Spence technology. We're going to fight at 129.
No, fuck. Yeah, at this, no, nah.
Well, no, when you say it down here, it's comical, right?
Sure.
So when you say it up there at welterweight, you're like, what are you talking about? This is the weight I am. This is the weight we fought at, and I beat your ass. And I think this, and again, go to @FightNet Radio and see my feelings on Oleksandr Usyk. this is the number one pound for pound guy. Andrew, I'm going to go to you. Inoue is the real goddamn
stop it.
deal.
No, he's not.
Oh my God.
No, he's not.
What?
He's too small. He hasn't done nearly as what Terrence Crawford did. He's not as hot as Terrence Crawford. He might be hot in Japan, but he's not hot anywhere else. There's no one talking about Inoue at the job sites. No one has called me about Inoue, but they've called me about Terrence Crawford. It's not even a discussion, Lee. Terrence Crawford's number one in the world right now.
If you had a choice between Inoue, give me a dream opponent, Miguel.
A dream opponent?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's not Fulton. He's already done that.
I mean, for me specifically, if he had stayed at 118, I would have liked to have seen him fight Estrada. If Estrada moved up to 118, I think that would have been something. But obviously, can't stay at 122 for too long. Yeah.
Who, Andrew, do you think is of the caliber of that fight, where these two guys are just going to bang until they drop? And don't get me wrong, I'm a Crawford fan. I am a huge Crawford fan. But I don't think he can get the fights that will make him special. I don't think he's going to get...
No, you can't say that anymore. He's a PBC guy now, and that's all that's left. It's just like Canelo. Canelo's a PBC. He's fighting under the PBC banner now. That's all that's left. So, no, Terrence Crawford's going to get all the fights that he wants. It's just... Are they at the right times? Probably not. So that sucks for Crawford, but
I don't think it's the right time. I think it's the right price.
Lee, they might even put the Canelo Terrence Crawford fight together because both guys fight under PBC. Like that really might happen because we're used to seeing this right now, right? Manny did this to the sport and it had fighters jump. Then Canelo does it. Shit, Roy Jones did it. I guess we could say Roy Jones started it, going middleweight to heavyweight.
Tony, everybody did. Everybody jumped to a weight where they got themselves paid.
But Tony did. Jones does it before Tony, and that's a significant jump. Terrence Crawford coming from 130 and going to 168 and winning the undisputed. That's a significant jump. That's not going, 3 weight divisions. We've seen the 4 weight divisions. We've seen many legends do that one. For someone to go 38 pounds and win the undisputed and go against one of the greatest fighters of that era and win it, if he was to, I don't think it's going to, I'm kind of praying that Terrence Crawford is just joking with people and wants his name to get circulated more on the internet by talking this rubbish now. But I don't want him to go up to super middleweight. That's a stupid fight. He would look dumbass fat. I don't want to see that. So I just hope he's playing. But that would make him legendary. Manny going fucking 9 weight divisions. That's legendary stuff. Normal people don't do that. In a way, he has to move up. I think right now that the fight for him would be the Navarrete. You move up one. Where is he at? He's at super bantamweight right now.
Right now, yes. Right now, in a way, but it's gonna be 2 weight classes. He'd have to skip featherweight and go to super featherweight. So, especially after Navarrete, now at 130. If he moves up to 126, he's got some people at 126. But as far as noteworthy, he'd have to probably hop to 130.
Yeah, no, there really isn't. There really isn't. He's kind of in a no man's land, Lee.
He's gonna have to fight that dude,
Andrew. I mean, here's realistically, you told me he needed Fulton. He took out Fulton.
Oh, yeah, and that made him on the pound for pound list. It doesn't make him the number 1 fighter in the world, and now he just holds it forever.
Well, no, look, lightweights.
So he's on the pound for pound list.
Wait, hold on. Lightweights are bullshit. All right, they just are. They just throw monstrous punches.
Well, it actually warms my heart, Lee, that you actually give this dude that much credit because he's such a small guy. For nobody giving a shit about the smaller dudes. The fact that he's one of the smaller guys and on the pound for pound list, at least that's what you're saying on your top one. So that's is great. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say no. Well, I mean, I am gonna say no because it is Crawford regardless.
Well, but you've done the show long enough to know who you think like literally one of the unsung heroes of boxing is Klitschko, right?
Right.
How do you go a full effing decade? It doesn't matter who it is in the top 10. I'm going to defend it. IBF, WBA, whatever. Let's go. Like he would lock it up in Poland or the Ukraine or wherever and defend his title ultimately until he ran into Anthony Joshua. Here's my problem with Inoue. He's working his way towards something, right? And that's a Bob thing. That is not an Inoue thing. I think you could put anybody in front of Inoue, and I think his attitude would be exactly the same. And so if you're looking at two tails of the coin, right, which at the low end, I think Inoue is not getting the full respect. I don't.
He's on the pound for pound list. That's insane.
I get that. I totally get that. But I think he's special. I think he's really special, Andrew.
Hey, sometimes in life it's about timing. And right now, the timing in the division that he's in has no other great fighter. So let me tell you.
You came up for Fulton?
Fulton was the peak.
You came up for Fulton?
Fulton was the peak. Fulton was the peak of that division, Lee. There was no higher than Fulton. Why did you fight him in Japan? That should have been held in Las Vegas. That should have been held in Dubai. Somewhere big,
and
like,
here's the problem.
Money.
Wait.
Well,
they're two different issues. And I'm hoping you help me on this, Miguel. I'm going to tell you the truth. Here are the two issues. Nobody gives a fuck about boxing at this level. Nobody cares about Oleksandr. They care about Fury. They don't care about Crawford Spence. It's the truth. It's the truth. They don't care that.
Usyk hurt his own.
I'm going to tell you a real one that's going to blow your mind. I don't think they care that Garcia lost. They just want to know when his next fight is.
He might have one more chance. He loses that fight, he's done.
Nope. Doesn't matter.
Well, he's not. They're gonna throw Rolando at him. Come on, he's not gonna lose that one.
Yeah, he's gonna get Rolly. He's gonna get some horse shit.
As long as he wins that fight, then what Lee's saying about his YouTube fan base, yes, they will be on board. They will all say he's a champ. As long as he wins. He loses another fight.
This is not the same era.
He's done.
This is not the same era. This is not the 90s. This is not me paying money to go see Jeff Left Hook Lacey at Mandalay Bay as the main event. Nobody's paying for that anymore. They're just not.
They've broken records, Lee. You got to watch it because Terrence Crawford Spence is on the top 10. Wilder versus Fury's on the top 10. They've been breaking records. Somebody's watching something. I think we had 4 consecutive weekends of sold out arenas. Somebody's watching something. And listen to me. I think the Floyd Mayweather.
I hate it. I hate boxing.
I've known you since 2006. You've always hated this sport.
I hated boxing. Why have they constantly screwed us?
You're one of those old dudes. I think you peaked in Hagler versus Hearns. You might Castillo Corrales might have
Corrales. Get it right. Castillo Corrales was my peak.
That might have rekindled the fire, but your top flame is 1980.
Well, no, Klitschko made me believe that you could. Well, no, if you look at it, I went into the Klitschko era with, I'm into that dude. Like, that dude is taking on literally the end. So what everybody forgets and why Klitschko is a literal first lock Hall of Fame ballot in every belts category. Klitschko fought everyone in the top 10.
Oh, God, shut up with the Klitschko thing. Jesus,
my God.
You're killing the ratings, dude. People turn off when you say that.
Really?
Yeah, Klitschko. Who talks about Klitschko today?
They should.
A article.
He's better than Tyson.
And I wish they would. No, I'm tired. Tyson and De La Hoya.
Oh my God, Klitschko would have killed Tyson.
Who?
Klitschko would have killed Tyson.
It's possible. He had all the tools. It's possible.
All right, thank you. That's all I'm looking for. but when I look at guys like this, when I look at the low end and the high end, right? Like below this, and I've gone to those fights, they're exciting. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I have had some of the best nights of my life with Miguel and friends watching Estrada and all these little straw weights flying around the ring like they're lucha libre, for God's sakes. It's great. It's completely exciting. What are they paying for? They're paying for Amir Khan. They're paying for the welterweights. They're paying for the middleweights. They're paying for the heavyweights.
Nah, I feel like we've gotten off track a little.
Have we? All right. All right. So, hey, go to @fightnetradio.com on any social media platform. Let us continue. You guys are going to love this. Ramirez versus Joe Smith. All right. So, it's in October, Miguel. Help me out. Gilberto Ramirez comes off a big win, correct?
His last one. God, speaking of win, look at his fucking face. He looks like son of a just got up. Look at that picture. They couldn't have found a more flattering picture. The fucker looks like he just got done partying and he woke up to take the damn photo shoot. Roberto Ramirez getting smoked by fucking Bivol, and then not making weight for his fight with I don't even know where the fuck it was, Gabe Rosado, I think it was, and then that pretty much. I'm still on my conspiracy theory that home dude through that fight with fucking with Bivol, got a sizable paycheck, a nice handsome paycheck, and is on the downward spiral. He doesn't give a fuck about making weight. He's like, man, fuck this. I don't give a rat's ass. So this is as a matter of fact, my dad actually talks about this. He's like, what the fuck? When the hell is Cejudo fighting again? I was like, I don't know. He's pretty much fallen off, ever since that fight with Rosado fell through. So he's like, yeah, that dude's probably on the way out. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but I'm surprised, that he's coming back against Joe Smith. Hey, it's not a bad fight. There's plenty of opponents at 175 he can fight. He went directly to Bivol, but I'm down for this fight. This fight's going to be a pretty solid brawl. Like I think this one's going to be pretty good. Hopefully, I'm wrong and we get to see the old Cejudo. But the way things are looking, I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Smith stops him.
Andrew, my theory on this, right? Like, any fighter in their hometown could just shut it down and go, I'm going to rent out a ballroom and do a club fight and make 10 grand that night. I don't like Cejudo seems to be right in that pocket.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree with what Miguel says on the, if he doesn't come in prepared, Joe Smith's going to break him. Joe Smith is that type of fighter. He's going to be in your grill. He's going to be throwing a lot of punches. He better train for this fight. This is a hard opponent to come back from. Well, he had a win in his last fight, but it was just a disaster in the not making weight. Because didn't they replace Gabe, right? They canceled the fight, but Cejudo still fought as a fat ass, didn't he?
No. Cejudo didn't fight at all. He dropped completely. Like, they said that he wasn't going to make weight. So then I think Gabe was like, no, fuck it then. Then we ain't fighting. Fuck this. So then they didn't fight. And then at a later date, like a couple of weeks later, they brought in that one dude who Rosado upset recently. And then Rosado lost. So I don't think, if my mind, serves me and my memory serves me right, I don't think Cejudo has fought since that loss to Bivol, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, so it's just a disaster on the scale then. Yeah, that's a hard fighter to come back to, because now you're talking, he's been out of the ring for a while. Doesn't look too sharp in the picture. So yeah, I don't got too much faith in Ramirez right now on his success against Joe Smith. But also agree that is an excellent fight if both guys fucking show up. Because the old Ramirez is a Joe Smith and Ramirez are the same guy. They're bringing it if they're both at peak level. Unfortunately, for the last year or year and a half, Ramirez has not performed at peak level.
Really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
No, I'm here. I'm just like literally listening to you two. I try to sit back, Andrew. Let me teach you the show. All right, let's just say I die. I'm gonna send you the passwords so you can do the show. I'm sure you can find a Lee. I mean, it's not hard. Somebody who hates boxing but loves boxing at the same time. And I love boxing. I mean, even last night, I loved the fight with Anderson. I did. It was active. It was great. I mean, it sucked. My mom really kept pointing out the powder blue gloves, which killed me. But I digress. Ugas Barrios. This is actually very strange. I'm not going to read the quotes. Ugas Barrios, the WBC interim title. Ugas Barrios on the undercard of Canelo Charlo. That's kind of a big fight, Miguel. I mean, by most standards, for a fight this size.
It's recognizable names. That's really like to the extent that I'm gonna say. I wouldn't even go as far as to say it's a big fight, but it's something because more often than not, what Canelo undercards get like one other recognizable name, and then that's it. They'll throw in a fucking, I don't know, somebody. I can't think right off the top of my head, but they'll throw in somebody who we kind of sort of know on the undercard, and that's pretty much it. This
Leo
one,
Santa Cruz.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, throw in some obscure motherfucker like, yeah. And some dude that Eddie Hearn want to throw in there or some shit, but this one, two recognizable names. All right, we know who they are. Are they fighting at 154 or what the fuck? Or at 147? Because I don't even think Ugas can make 147 anymore. But I think this is Ugas' first fight back from his loss to Spence, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember if he's had a fight since then. We all know Barrios from his loss to Gervonta, and then yeah. So I don't know. I mean, and I'm sure he's fought since then, so it's not like he hasn't fought. But it's two recognizable names. I'm not even sure what weight class they're fighting at. Really, that's really the best I can say for it. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure if Ugas really has enough gas in the tank to beat a younger dude like Barrios. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe Ugas is older, and he cashed out already. He had his Manny Pacquiao payday. He had his Errol Spence payday. So he got what he needed to. Coming from fucking poverty, in Cuba to like this. So I think he's done. I think he just wants to get maybe one last payday and maybe one last victory under his belt before he calls it a career. Because he's been out for a while because of that eye. I think he got like his eye pretty damaged against Spence. So. I suspect Barrios, the younger guy, having more gas in the tank and more legs underneath him, will take this fight. But hey, it's not. I mean, is this even like is this a co-main event or is this just like a fight?
It's the co.
Oh Jesus Lord!
The way
yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. They announced the
what's killing
undercard
me
earlier.
about this whole thing is we are now talking about boxing, about squeezing the last little drop out of a lemon, right? Right. So if you're Amir Khan, should Amir Khan try to get one more fight with anyone? Yeah, he should. Why wouldn't he? Like, yeah, you should. If I'm Spence has got probably 2 fights, probably, before he's a non-discussion. And that's weird. Like, we're talking the business of boxing. Correct me, Andrew, but that's what this is about. It's the business of boxing.
Yeah, it's a PBC fight. These are both PBC fighters. It's a trash fight. Barrios is not a welterweight. It's sad if they made him jump to 154 because the dude fought at 140. He's a junior welterweight where he won his fake ass WBA title that Gervonta Davis went up and challenged him for. So 147 is 7 pounds heavier. If they made him go 154, that's 14 pounds. He's going to get destroyed. Ugas is simply going to destroy this kid. Not only, I don't give a shit about his age, his youth, his fucking strength. His pedigree is nowhere near Ugas. Ugas has went rounds with Spence. He went 12 rounds with Manny Pacquiao. Who else has he fought in? He went 12 the distance with Sean Porter. Barrios has never been on this type of level. He fucking got handled by a guy who weighed 130 pounds, 35 pounds a few months before. He gets destroyed. This is not a good fight. If Ugas has anything left of his pedigree, he knocks Barrios out in 4 fucking rounds. This won't be a good co-main event at all. We're going to be waiting a long time for that main event to start.
No, I don't do. I mean, you think Ugas has the pop like that? I mean, he's not the kind of dude who comes in like slugging.
It's the size.
Something.
It's the size.
I that's just my suspicion that they were going to fight 144 because I'm not really sure what weight the class they actually are fighting at. But nonetheless, like I just because of his age, I figured he's not going to stay at 147. Ugas I'm talking about, but nonetheless, it's just like I don't know the younger, you know, the more what is it the younger fighter really, you know, in Barrios I think he's got enough gas in him to be able to go the distance. It's not like, you know, even with the size, it isn't like Ugas is like some sort of fucking, you know, monster truck coming in here and like wiping the mat with him. So I don't know. I suspect because he's not. It seems like Ugas. I mean, from what we've seen, he's not the kind of guy that comes in for the kill. You know, that goes in for the kill. The guy just like is okay with, you know, pity pat, you know, pot shotting you from the outside and basically, you know, trying to box you the way, you know, Cubans generally do. So I suspect that's what he's going to try to do. Even with the size advantage, he's not going to come in here and try to mow, you know, Barrios over. So I think this is probably why they put it as co-main event. They're like, all right, we're going to get a solid 12 rounds out of this and, you know, give these people more pay-per-view for, you know, bang for the buck for the pay-per-view. So I doubt that this is going to end quick.
I don't want to cut to last night, but literally I went to Netflix to watch a series, right? And my mom was sitting on the couch and she's like, what about the fight? I go, they're not going to fight for half an hour. I literally guarantee we can watch a 30-minute episode of something like Arrested Development, right? And then turn back. And literally when we turned back, they were just announcing the names. Like, I knew it when they were warming up. Like, Miguel and I know this when we're at a fight. Like, let's go get a pizza. Fuck this. Like, it just is what it is. Like, it's all timed out. You're going to give the fighter the greatest time. You're hoping for the best fight. And to be honest, the fighters are not producing, by and large, Andrew. I know what you're going to think, but by and large, the fighters are not going to produce. They're just not.
I never said the undercard does. The undercards rarely produce. I'm not talking about undercards. I'm talking about elite fights, and I think the elite fights have come back in 2023. I think the little pattern that we've seen fighters doing when Floyd Mayweather left, as far as trying to make Floyd Mayweather money, trying to hold out of fights, I think all that's going away now. You see the fights are getting made. People are making a lot more money. And so I don't know, Lee. I can't really say that. I think that era is over with. So let's just
really hard. It's really hard. It's
not really hard. This year has been great for boxing fans. It really has. Now, you know, and I got to say for casuals too, because a lot of these fights, they were on the mainstream. I mean, ESPN is showing them. They're showing highlights. They're showing weigh-ins. Like, everything's fine. I think going to be we're going to a better place. Back to this fight, Barrios and Ugas is nothing more about Al Heyman has always tried to put Mexicans on the undercard of all of his pay-per-view bouts. That's why I said Leo Santa Cruz's name first. You could go back to Robert Guerrero. You could go back to Mikey Garcia. You can go to Isaac Cruz. He's always tried to put all these guys on undercards and put them on, just use their bloodline for views. Isaac Cruz is not a top fighter. He's absolutely not a top fighter yet. They pump him out there like he is, and the PBC fan base buys into it, and they think they're going to get more views because of it. I don't know if it works or if it doesn't. I really haven't seen the PBC numbers like jump out of the water and go, yeah, man, the Mexicans are really buying into these fights. But this undercard again has If you look at the undercard below this one, I believe there's 2 more Mexicans on it, kind of unheard of. And I'm not mad that they're getting their breaks, but Barrios and Ugas was made just because of that. Barrios don't deserve no fucking shot at the welterweight division. He didn't even do shit. Like, I'm dead serious. Let Barrios win. You guys really want to see Terrence Crawford versus Mario Barrios? Is that really what you want to see? I'm telling you right now, if they can't make a fight at 154 with Spence or with Charlo, you're looking at Al Heyman doing something crazy. If Ugas gets a good win, I could see Ugas getting a shot at them and the PBC fan base going, yeah, dude, this guy fought Pacquiao. He fought Spence. Yeah, he can get a shot. I could see that happening. I don't want fucking Mario Barrios to get a shot at Terrence Crawford if he beats Ugas.
It's just a strong case. It's a strong case for that.
They're a co-main event. They're a co-main event on a PBC pay-per-view card with Canelo headlining. No, I don't want. I want Ugas to knock the fuck out of Mario Barrios. Sorry, I'm not trying to go down that road. Oh, the PBC. You know they'll do it, Miguel.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, even more fuel to the fire. Chances are, because it is a PBC, guys, we're going to see 12 rounds. We're going to see 12. Now, do we want to see it? No, not necessarily. We would much rather the fight just end, that we can get to the damn main event already, because really that's kind of the way it is. We've talked about it countless times. They pour so much money into the main event that the undercard gets fucking pennies. So it's like, well, let's just find some dudes that we can fill the card and call it a day, because people tune in to watch, Canelo, Charlo, not anybody else. All right, we get it. I understand the idea there, but it's like this is something that we would see on like fucking Showtime, but it's a co-main event on a pay-per-view card. It's like, all right, come on, can we get a little bit better? But like I said, ultimately it's just 2 recognizable names, people that know, generally speaking, that know who these guys are. I certainly hope that's not the direction that we go. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's not like Ugas gets a crack at one of the other fucking top, dudes after this win, or Barrios for that matter. Because I mean, I don't think, let's just say for the sake of argument, Mario Barrios wins. It's not like it's gonna make him a fucking star. For me, like, oh yeah, people want to see him fight, Crawford next, or whomever the hell, or Spence for that matter, or I don't know anybody else. But it's a co-main event. It's a filler, really. It's just a card filler.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
Yes.
Bob Arum, the fact that they're talking about the fight with Lama and Kambosos is nonsense. All right, I'm going to do this, and it's going to hurt my voice. Wait, hold on. Have we got it right? I met with Aegis. He went off to Poland for the Usyk fight. We tried to make the fight between Shakir and Loma, and Aegis told me Loma decided that he's not going to fight again this year. So the fact that they're going to fight about... So the fact that they're not going to talk, they're not talking about the fight with Loma and Kambosos is nonsense. Aegis would not mislead us. And we told us that Loma wanted to take the rest of the year off. Really? Why would he?
I know.
He not constantly lost? Where's the next quote? So Stevenson has called out numerous opponents, including Haney, Lomachenko, and Jaime Ortiz. Aaron Matchmaker, nonetheless, returned to the ring. We're working on it. Listen. Well, we got somebody because we got resources to do it, and Shakur will be in action, and we'll see who's got the best available guy for him to fight. I think Shakur is the most talented guy in the lightweight division, but we're making progress. All right, let's talk about this. This lightweight division, Miguel, is a car crash. Here's my theory. Toss them all in the ring. I mean, literally WWE style. Let's toss them in and see who comes out.
Let's have a Royal Rumble.
I'm over it. Everybody keeps, like, there are 4 champions? currently?
No. I mean, we already unified the champs. It's just that we're gonna, Haney's gonna leave the division, and then probably we're gonna have, fucking 4 champions again. I don't know if that's official yet. I don't remember the last report I saw about, him fighting Prograis. I think that's the last I heard. I'm not sure if it's quote unquote official, but usually these sanctioning bodies, they kind of cut these fighters some slack. It's like, all right, you win, you lose, you're coming back to the weight class until they actually decide that they're gonna, leave the weight class entirely. Then they, relinquish the belts, and then we have ourselves, once again, the dispersed belts and whatnot. So I'm not sure this has officially happened quite yet, but as of right now, still, Haney is the man. He's got all the fucking belts. That dude is the man regardless. So yeah, I mean, everybody else.
And the lightweights produced some great fights over the last few years. Lopez versus Cambosos, Haney, Loma versus Lopez.
Yeah.
These are all great fights, man. Ryan versus Davis took place at 135. Now it's time, Shakur's coming a little late. He's probably gonna, he's gonna get the end of a lot of these guys' careers. But the other guys are moving up to 140, and they will continue their path to each other, right? You'll have all Loma and Haney, Haney and Lopez probably fighting at 140 at some time. Gervonta Davis is going to enter 140 at some time and fight these guys. So, no, I think the lightweights have done great on the 4 or 5 fighters that we had there. We knew it was going to be a situation where we seen great fights, and we got some great fights out of it. And now we're moving on to the junior welterweight division. So that's just, for Stevenson, it kind of sucks because his style, his market, and just doesn't play right for some of these guys who are on their last few paychecks. They don't want to get, that fight where they get shut out.
Next story. Canelo De La Hoya. All right, so Canelo on De La Hoya. I love this only because I want to see what Canelo says about De La Hoya. If you're not a regular to our show, we believe that the relationship between these two humans is something of a relationship. So let's see
not we.
You don't believe that?
No, I don't think they act like a real relationship. No, they're business partners.
Behave that way.
But wait a minute, Lee. I got to tell you, there's a new twist to this fake relationship that you talk about on De La Hoya Canelo.
Okay.
De La Hoya's Canelo's been divorced twice now. When has he become the problem?
Well, he's always the problem.
All right.
Default to De La Hoya.
Shade on him too.
All right, let's see what Canelo thinks. Wait.
Marriage didn't even last long.
I think if you see everything he's doing, we are the only ones that stayed with him. That everybody left him. Wow. Because I'm loyal. I treat everybody like family. And I do the same things with Golden Boy, but I don't think he's the kind of person. I don't know if he's the kind of person or not, but he's not. Well, that's a bad sentence. This is a really bad sentence. Am I wrong? I don't know if he's a good person or not, comma. There needs to be a comma. I don't know if he's a good person or not, comma, but he's not the person he shows.
Wait, who's saying this? Is Canelo saying this?
This is Canelo saying it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
You need to give them a little faster. When I heard that, I took it. I think he has a lot of issues, Alvarez said of De La Hoya. Oscar has a lot of issues with his
really
life.
going on there.
Well, we all agree on that.
That's some ground.
I don't really know when I fought Floyd. He was in rehab. Wow. 2 days before the fight, kind of bad. I don't know really what happened.
That though, Lee. Lee, that's public knowledge. 2 days before the fight, that was on the internet.
Miguel?
Yes. I mean, we're gonna add more to this. I mean, we kind of,
I don't know.
This isn't something that we don't already know. I mean, we talked ad nauseum about how his problems were, and
ad nauseum. Good word.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Wilder says he's working on 2-fight deal with Joshua in Saudi Arabia. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Anthony Joshua pulled off whatever he had to pull off. So now we've got to deal with the king, correct? So let's see what the king has to say. As far as I know, boxing stuff, everybody knows with Joshua's situation, that is serious. That is real. And that is the one thing that is up next. And when we're looking forward to that, I'm going to camp real soon. I'll be promoting within the next few weeks. All right, let's jump into this. Joshua versus I don't know how I feel about this, Miguel. I mean, I want to watch Wilder Joshua, but is it not 5 years past its prime?
It is, but I still want to watch it. I still want to see how, because I mean, we've gone back and forth on this like a motherfucker. Prior to AJ's losses to Usyk, we were damn near sure that he would fucking handle what's his name, fucking Wilder. We're like, all right, he's got better boxing, he's got the power, yada yada. He's he's got the strength. He's just bigger, like bulkier. And we were like, all right, cool. Well, I mean, I'm thinking to myself like, yeah, I mean, as wild as Wilder is, the way he hacks his punches, I'm sure, especially after that great fight with AJ and Klitschko, it's like, all right, cool. AJ is the dude. He's the man. He's gonna do it, right? And then we see Wilder get smoked by fucking by Fury, and we're like, all right, even more of a reason. And then we see what happens to AJ. We're like, oh shit. So now it's kind of a toss up again. Now it's like, damn, both these guys have suffered several losses. Some of them pretty embarrassing losses. And it's like, hey, I still want to see this. And we've talked about it so much about the culture of boxing. When guys lose, everybody immediately counts them out. They're like, oh, fuck it, he's done, yada, yada. It's like, no, it's just one loss, and it's probably against the best. So it's like, no, it's not like these guys are losing to just, some no-name schmucks. They're losing against the best of the best in the weight class. Minus Ruiz, I get that. But still, I'm talking about Usyk and AJ's losses to Usyk. So it's just like, yeah, I'm still interested in watching this kind of fight. I want to see who's gonna go down, because this one I can damn near guarantee you it's not gonna go 12 rounds. This one is not gonna go 12 rounds. I want to see who's gonna hit the canvas. I'm totally down for this one. I don't give a fuck if both these guys have already lost. Some time ago, Max Kellerman, what we used to call the weight class, the heavyweight class, the three-headed monster, right? It was Fury, it was Wilder, and it was AJ. Well, we got some answers because we had Fury and Wilder. Now we get some more answers, more questions answered with AJ and Wilder. So I'm down for this one. If it's pay-per-view, I'm buying this one. This one, I'm totally down. Yeah, I'm sure the undercard is going to be crap, but I don't give a rat's ass. And it's going to be in Dubai. I don't know if they're going to, do it early over here in the U.S., if that, or Abu Dhabi, or whatever the hell it is, right, the Middle East. So hopefully it's not like an early morning one. I would like to have this, my night to watch a fight like this. But dude, if you're not sure how to feel about this, Lee, let me let you know. You should be feeling excited as fuck. So this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Damn. Well, damn.
I'm a dick. All right, let's just cut to the chase.
I only want to see it once. And before I talk about the fight, I want to talk about something Al Heyman's starting to do that I'm already sick and fucking tired of. And it's this announcement of these 2-fight deals. Listen, I don't want your fucking rematch unless the first fight is competitive. But when I seen what Tyson Fury did to Deontay Wilder, I didn't need the rematch. Now, you can say those rematches were classic because Wilder put Tyson Fury down with one punch and those 2 times in one round. But the rest of all of those fights are straight fucking trash. Wilder gets handled. It is all about how much punishment can Wilder take before he's going down. We didn't need the rematch. Yet we got forced down our throats for a third time. Absolutely didn't need it. Then you go to Spence and Crawford. I don't need this fucking rematch. What the hell? What does it? Why would Errol Spence make another $12 million for what? He didn't show up in the biggest fight of his life, and we're supposed to just give him $25 million when you total it all together because of it? Hey, bro, you know what? You totally look like shit, but hey, that was their fault, not your fault. Here's another $12 million. I'd like to see that shit again. No, I wouldn't. And now you're telling me Wilder is already announcing a 2-fight deal with. Who the fuck wants to see these two bums knock each other out more than one time? I'm telling you right now, if that bell rings and this fight is over in 9 minutes, I am not going to want to see the rematch of this fight. Yes, it was great, but we knew both guys were bums when they got into the ring. And I'm sorry, that's where their career is right now. They are both one loss away from being in their fucking houses, retired. No one wants to see them. They're not a headliner. They're both one loss away. So that's where they're at in their career. Why are you planning a rematch in Africa like this is fucking Ali versus George Foreman? They insane how Al Heyman's trying to rob us again. Boxing community, you need to understand what this man is doing, robbing us. Oh, he gets a rematch. The fuck he got knocked out. Oh yeah, who cares? It's in the contract. Get the rematch. That is not how boxing used to be. Before, if the rematch wasn't warranted, it did not fucking happen. And that's how the boxing world needs to stay. Not just because daddy said the fight should happen, should the fight happen.
Bum, 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 bum.
I just made the case why you should watch the fight, and Andrew just made the case why we shouldn't watch it.
What? Yeah,
No,
right.
No,
Literally.
The first fight. Hey, Miguel, I'm down for the first one. That's all we need.
Oh, just so a one-shot deal. Just a one-shot deal then.
This fight is a winner takes all. Loser goes fucking home. Are you really? Hey, who's really into AJ if he gets knocked out by Deontay Wilder? Who's really gonna be like, man, I would love to see AJ versus I don't know who else, bro. He's been knocked out by Ruiz. He's been beaten to shit by Usyk. Now you're knocked out or beaten, whatever the case, by Wilder. Don't know if I really have any other opponent I'm like, desperately wanting to see AJ with. Every time AJ's in the ring, I kind of feel bad for the kid. It doesn't look like he wants to be there anymore. He comes in with this tremendous confidence. His bodybuilding. The crowd's all cheering. He looks all nice. Then as the fight's going on, you just see his confidence leaving. He looks like a guy who wants out. Wilder's going to give him that exit. Believe me, Wilder just needs to land the right hand, and this fucking fight is over. I don't want to see that twice. You can miss. I can already tell you. I can already see what Al Heyman's doing with all of these fighters. Yeah, you know what?
Well, you're getting into the business of boxing.
Hey, the Charlo. Hey, you don't get to fight him twice, but guess what? You're fighting him and his twin fucking brother next. Bang, bang. It's the same guy. Lee, it's the same fucking guy. He's rematching that one too.
Hellenius tested positive for banned VADA testing. All right, so for those of you who don't know, this Nordic moron lost, right? When he got to step up, Miguel. And now let's see what he took. Let's see if they got it right. And by the way, FightNet Radio does the deep work on whether or not the drugs work. He was voluntarily tested on Friday, 11th of August. The fighter defeated Anthony. Yeah. What drugs? There are no drugs listed?
What? I thought they did mention it.
As part of the blah blah substance and blah blah, Dillian blah blah performance enhancing drugs. That could be TST to anything. Performance today.
Hey, good thing he was fired.
Well, no, it's the article. I mean, there's no list of the. Andrew, I have listed the drugs and taken the drugs for this show. And by the way, TST and, well, TST is the big one. But are you shocked, Miguel, that Hellenius was dirty?
I mean, kind of, because he literally just fought a week before Like, did he not test the week before? Like, what the fuck did he test before? Like, what happened in that 1 week that's going to show up that quickly in your system? Like, what? Like, is he going to have that much benefit? Like, he can't just, like, as soon as, his last fight is over. Because, mind you, it was like 5 days notice when he got the call. What, did he just fucking immediately start shooting up as soon as, like, he found out about it? Like, what the hell? I don't know what benefit that would give him in 5 fucking days.
It's a pill.
Well, whatever. But
yeah,
he
was dirty. No, Miguel's right. He was dirty in both fights. The other fight, who knows where that took place at? Did they even drug test? It could have been one of those things where he knew he was going to get penalized, but the profit is too great not to take the penalty, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a retirement check. I mean, seriously, this guy's a nobody. This guy, he's Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua after their next loss. This is what they are. He's not getting a main event anytime soon. He fucking he's been put to sleep twice by AJ and Wilder. Wilder was just a total bullshit fight. I mean, the punch didn't even look like it landed. That knocked him out the way it did, and then AJ just cleaned it up. I mean, that right hand that AJ landed on him, that was his boxing life leaving in the ring right there. So these guys are nobodies. I think he knew that. He knew where his career was. If Eddie Hearn is offering, let's say, $1 million, Giovanni, get down.
Wow.
Get down. If the damn kids climb a monkey climbing on the damn cabinets right now. Hey, if they're offering $1 million, what do you guys think the penalty is? 200 grand? What do you think they'll penalize them for this dirty test?
Well, if he tests, I mean, I don't know if they even tested him for this previous fight, but if he tests positive twice, I mean, let's just double it. Let's just say 400 grand. If he got paid $1 million, he still got something left in the pocket, So yeah, I mean, that was his retirement check.
Got his last check, and he's got the check from the last fight. So I think this was a walkaway moment for him.
Next fight, can we talk about this?
Yes.
Ali Walsh finally lost. Oh my God. How fucking great, Miguel, is this?
I think we're being a little too harsh on the kid. Like, it's like, look, he said it from the beginning, unless I remember.
Bob is popping him to where he is, right?
Right. It's understood, right? I remember from the beginning, he flat out said, like, look, I'm not here to become some fucking, legendary champion. I'm just here because I feel doing this makes me feel closer to my grandfather, yada, 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 right? He wore, like, his trunks that first time, and that's it, right? I mean, unless something has changed, which I don't remember right offhand, but I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, cool. So he's doing it for that reason, and not because he legitimately thinks he's going to be some sort of title contender in the near future. So, hey, you know what? The wins come with the losses. It's just how it is, or the other way around. The losses come with the wins. So I'm glad that it happened to him. I'm glad that it happened to him this early. But I think right off the bat, people are like jumping on this fucker, like, oh well, it's about damn time. It's like he's just a hype job. It's like, yes, we know this. We know this. This isn't anything that's new necessarily. It's not like he said it himself that he's going to be some sort of fucking, Chavez type fighter. Obviously he wasn't planning to get there to begin with, and realistically, like, if he didn't have that last name, he'd just be a pretty pretty much a journeyman, and that's essentially what he is, but with a little bit more spotlight on him because of his last name. So yeah, I'm glad that he lost in the sense that he got that loss out of the way, because he climbs the ladder a little bit more and then loses down the line. I think it'll be more significant and more detrimental more damaging to his career. The fact that he loses this early on, it gives him a little bit of room to improve, because the guy in front of him wasn't that great anyway. It was just a little bit better than he was. But hey, the losses is no big deal. Keep moving. I think we should look at him like he is just like another undercard fighter, pretty much.
Andrew?
This little run that he had stopped him from being the Amazon delivery driver that he was supposed to be.
Wow. Amazon. Wait, that's a title.
Yeah, I've moved
Amazon
on from the Walmart
delivery
warehouse.
I can already see the JPEG with the Amazon truck and the whole bit. But all right, go. No,
there is no go. He lost. Look, they got to go back to the drawing board with them. I don't know where his career goes from here. Honestly, Lee, I got nothing to say on the fight. I didn't watch it. never been a real big fan of this Ali thing because of Layla Ali never backing him. I think it was fake from the very beginning. I believe Layla should have been in that ring. She should have been ringside to support him if he was truly doing this, honestly. Because she wasn't. I think it was a money grab from that side of the family. And last night I don't know if they reached the end. I'm sure he's going to come back and start fighting, tomato cans again, guys that he can knock out, and Timothy Bradley can talk about how big his future is and then backtrack all that shit. But,
no, this is my ultimate argument, right? Like, for any fighter, go to your hometown, book out the convention center, make your money. Like, you're not going to be better than that, right? Like, Nico was kind of poised to be, they were pushing him towards the big time. They ultimately were. He was never that fighter.
Listen, you're messing around with Top Rank. Eventually, you are going to have to step into the big time. Top Rank, I don't think that's a gimmick promotional company. I don't think that's why they're not involved in YouTube fights. So no, I think eventually he was going to have to prove himself. And I don't even know if last night they thought that was the fight that was going to do it or not. Who knows? He might have lost to a guy that Top Rank totally thought he was going to beat, and now they're even confused on where he's at in his career. So once again, I didn't watch the fight. But to me, the person that runs the Ali estate is Layla. She's the one that everyone looks to. Without her stamp of approval, I don't want to say were you ever an Ali, but it's borderline. You never got the stamp from the family, the Don.
All right, let's move forward. The greatest fight ever since
your story's
the last
whack,
great
man.
DQ fight. Wait, who was the last great DQ fight?
Oh fuck!
The last great, the only great Botha, and Francois. No, not Botha. Sorry, Galata. That's the only one,
right?
Yeah.
Good
Hell yeah.
Lord!
Wait a minute. Is that after Tyson's bite? It is. Yeah, it is.
No? Is it? Shit, I don't remember.
No.
Yeah, Tyson's bite was in '97. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be the
spectacular last night.
Wow.
Holy shit. All right, for those of you who don't know, because I watched the fight, how many did it take, Miguel? 4?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, if I kept the tally, I think like 4. Yeah.
Oh my God. And they were literally uppercuts. God, what a douche.
Yeah, going back to the low blow, you guys should see the Usyk video right now. I guess they pressed Usyk to stand up and show his belt line in the after fight post fight conference, and Usyk pulls up his shirt. He's got, like, I would say, I don't know, a few fucking inches, more than a few inches where his belt line is to his belly button. Then he pulls his pants up and shows him where he thinks the punch landed, and then immediately pulls his pants back to his waistline where, dude, if you look at where his trunks were the night of the fight compared to where he has his waistline after the fight, that punch is nowhere near his nuts. You got, like, nah, dude. That uppercut landed like in almost 4 inches of clearance. There's like stomach before his waistline. It's like a belly button, clearance, and then a waist. It's not close at all. All I'm saying, Usyk, take the fucking money. You're 35 years old. Your run is over. You went 9 rounds with the guy that was supposed to be out in 9 minutes. I'm sorry. Daniel Dubois.
Wait, hold on, Andrew.
No. If you are number 1 in the world, Daniel Dubois does not go 9 fucking rounds with you. He doesn't. That dude doesn't go 9 rounds with Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis. He doesn't. So don't give me, it was a close, good fight. No, this was an unranked guy that had lost to Joe Joyce, who's not even a contender anymore. He lost by a TKO in that fight. comes back and gets TKO'd by a non-punch. Daniel Dubois is not an elite boxer. He is gone after tomorrow. And I'm sorry, the market of Usyk had to have dropped. Put your tail between your legs, go back to the Tyson Fury table and take what the fuck they're offering you, or I'm telling you right now, you will become a victim to Jared Anderson and Top Rank.
Miguel.
Well, I mean, there's not really much more we can add to that. But I mean, that co-main event was kind of a fucking I mean, we all know. Like, I'm not a big fan of this Effie dude. Like, yeah, he would knock some people out, right? And yesterday was just a fucking, and like, you know what's funny? Like when dude gets fucking disqualified, he just walks away like, I don't give a fuck. Like, his attitude was like, I don't give a shit. And then this fight is already out of control. As soon as the referee disqualifies it, he walks back to his corner. Is like, let's just get the fuck out of here. I got a party to go to or something. I just found that was hilarious as hell. So anyway, yeah, it was quite a disaster of a fight. I hope Effie's sack is okay. I hope the guy isn't. I mean, the punch looked a lot lighter than than what Usyk got punched with. But yeah, not much we can say about that. It was quite the dumpster fire of a co-main event.
Okay, thank you everyone for being a part.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Hey, no, I'm not gonna let you do it another week. You're not even going to talk about Terrence Crawford, what he did to fucking Spence on his victory parade?
Go ahead.
Lee, you got to get the pictures. Jesus, it won't be funny unless you have the pictures.
Spence?
No, Crawford. Crawford's victory parade. Listen, they're saying Spence is going to do the. I'll talk while you look it up. Hey, Miguel, you see they say Spence activated the rematch?
Yes, yep. He's already exercised that right. And as I understand it, he's going to try to exercise that at 154, right? That's like at least what I remember hearing. So I don't know how exactly does that work? Was that even part of the plan, or is that something that still needs to be negotiated? But as I understand it, that's what he wanted. He wants that at 154, which is, isn't a bad deal for him if that was the reason why, legitimately, which we don't know, of course. I mean, we can only suspect that, that we're going to get two sides of the story. But if it really was, if Spence looked like shit because, the weight and not because Crawford was just that much better than him, then maybe we'll get a different, at least a different fight. Because here's the thing, like, that fight was such a one-sided ass whooping. It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, really. That's just like, what? This is the two top dudes at fucking welterweight, and it was just like this one-sided. This is not what we expected. Hopefully, if the fight does happen again and it happens on 154, we get at least a better fucking outing from Spence. Even if he doesn't win again, whatever. I don't give a shit. As long as he doesn't win, we already know who's the better of the two, right? We got Crawford winning, and ultimately Spence signed the contract at 147. So whatever. If there was a weight issue, it was his own goddamn fault because he signed the contract regardless. So if we're gonna get a rematch at 154, I'm hoping at the very least we get a much better, performance out of Spence. Again, whether he wins or loses, another story. I can get two shits about that, but at least we get a better fight, a more the kind of fight that we were anticipating at 147. But anyway, go ahead.
I give a shit about it if my cable bill goes from, I think I spend $300 a month to $399 or $89 a month because I have to spend $90 to watch that fucking debacle again. I won't do it. I'm not going to do it. I might watch the fight, but I'm definitely not purchasing that fight over again. There was no reason, and the fact that they are just claiming weight to me seems like it's a robbery or a fix anyways. Like, shame on it. How can a person make 15 million knowing that they're, I'm probably gonna look like shit though. Let's just be honest. I'm not going to win. Admittedly, we'll just say it's because of this. It's this weight thing that I'm doing. Like, come on, man. They're not getting my money twice. Love Terrence Crawford to death. I'm glad he won that fight. I've watched the fight numerous times. He is our number one fighter right now. I'm not buying that thing over again for $90. It's just, it doesn't warrant that. Lee, did you get the photos?
What photos?
Basically, Lee, he goes to the fucking parade in a fishing boat with fishing gear, fishing. He came like he was going fishing, bro. It's the funniest shit ever. I've never seen anybody take their trolling all the way to the next week. Like, or whenever this parade happened since the fight, Terrence was like, hey, how can we embarrass him some more? No, seriously. No, I know I embarrassed him. I know they say he has brain damage. I get all that. How can we embarrass him some more? Hey, bring fishing net. Yeah. How about a boat? Yeah, bring the fucking boat. Like, bro, Spence.
Yeah.
This guy owns you right now. You really want to do this again? You're going to turn into the Terrence Crawford bitch if you really do this again and nothing changes. It's one of the greatest ones that I've ever seen, insult that I've ever seen. Talk about salt on a wound.
Yeah. And rightfully so, because even what you were saying there, Andrew, when he was talking about, like if that was the mentality that Spence came into the fight with, that like, oh, I'm gonna look like fucking crap, but I'm gonna get paid like a motherfucker. It kind of sounded like that, how we were talking about how he was saying like, well, every time they would ask him about the fight, he isn't like definitively say like, I'm gonna beat his ass, I'm gonna win. It was very like, oh, if it turns out this way, yada yada. Like, you can hear it. It was specifically, I think it was like during one of the press conferences leading up to the fight, literally the week of, where he just didn't sound like it, right? So I'm just like, man, fuck, really? Is that what you came in with, that damn, built-in excuse of the way that shit was bullshit, man? That kind of pissed me off. So again, fingers crossed that if it does happen, and again, shout out to VIP Box, because chances are that's where I'm going to watch it. I'm going to hope that the fight looks a lot better, at least a lot more even at 154, because that was just too one-sided of an ass whooping. It makes you think, but it's just too one-sided of an ass whooping there. And that was.
And I love how fast we forget about the brain damage videos and look at what he sounded like in 2017 and what he sounds like in 2023. It's totally different. Listen, if this guy comes out, and you are absolutely right, I totally forgot about how he was talking about being a legend already, and they were both legend fighters. And I know, I hate that when you hear the guy already say, well, it really doesn't matter what the outcome is. That's not a good way to enter the biggest fight of your life. If he starts with those kind of interviews again, and I swear to God, if he sounds like he's drunk or high, because that's what he always sounded like, dude. And it's not just me talking, you guys. If you go to the internet, whenever Spence used to do an interview, the comments immediately went to, is this guy drinking the lean because he's from Texas? Is he high? They smoke hella bud. We seen Spence joke about smoking weed. So me saying that isn't me just knocking him. What did he say he was going to do? We smoke out here. We're going to roll them up and smoke them. Bro, if you sound dead, brain dead, I'm not paying you to watch you fight. If there's doctors that came out and said, man, you guys are wrong for making this guy fight, he clearly has fucking brain issues, I'm not paying to watch your pay-per-view. I don't give a fuck what your contract says and you activated it and blah, 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 blah. I pass. I got a hard pass on this new PBC hustle that they're doing. I love Al Heyman. You're a fucking hustler. I'll give you that. But I see right through you, dude. You ain't getting my money.
Hi. Follow us at FightNet Radio. Follow at FightFiendMigs. Follow us completely through. We appreciate everyone who follows us, and we really do appreciate our fan base. Thank you for listening.